Jesus and the Clay Birds. A story from the Infancy Gospel of Jesus. One of several lost stories of the childhood of Jesus. A child kneels beside a shallow pool in ancient Palestine. He is perhaps 5 years old, his hands covered in clay. It is the Sabbath, the day when all labor ceases. But the boy does not rest. He shapes 12 sparrows from the wet earth, arranging them in a careful row beside the water. A neighbor sees what he is doing and is alarmed. Working clay on the Sabbath is a violation of sacred law. He reports the boy to his father, Joseph, who hurries to the scene and rebukes his son. But the child does not argue. He claps his hands and speaks a single command. The clay sparrows spread their wings, cry out, and fly away, 12 living birds ascending into the sky, leaving only damp impressions in the mud. This story does not appear in the Bible. It comes from the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, a 2nd century text that attempted to fill the silence the canonical Gospels left around Jesus' childhood. The Church never accepted it into the New Testament. Its portrait of the young Jesus, a child of immense, sometimes frightening power, was too unsettling for the official record. And yet the claybird episode refused to disappear. It was copied in Greek, Latin, Syriac, Ethiopic, and Slavonic. It appeared in medieval art. And centuries after it was first written down, it surfaced in the Quran, where Jesus fashions a bird from clay and by God's permission breathes it into life. The echo of Genesis is unmistakable. God forms Adam from the dust of the earth and breathes life into him. Here, a 5-year-old child does the same, not with a man, but with sparrows. The symbolism is deliberate. This boy does not merely perform miracles. He reenacts the original act of creation. Some scholars see the story as a theological experiment, an early community imagining what it would mean for God to have been a child. Others note its roots in Hellenistic miracle traditions, where divine children were a recognized literary type, and there are those who read it differently still, as a distorted memory of a prodigious child whose abilities defied the language of his time. We do not know who first told this story, or when, or where. We know only that it endured, crossing every boundary of language, culture, and religion that human beings construct. It survived because something in the image of a child giving life to clay answers a need older than any scripture. The sparrows are gone, they flew away long ago, but the question remains, what flew that day beside the water?